Do you find it difficult to come up with content ideas for your podcast? Or perhaps you've gotten stuck during an interview with a guest where you just have nothing to ask anymore? Try Poddex today. Poddex is the best all-in-one podcast idea generation tool. You get everything from episode ideas to interesting conversation starters for interviews, engaging discussions for your live streams, and even social media content ideas. With this tool, you don't have to spend weeks trying to come up with content for an episode or unique questions for your guests. Just shuffle the cards and pick one at random, hit the record button, and get started. Now you can make better content, have more fun while you're at it, and get your viral moment, all with Poddex. Head over to poddex.com and use code C4C. Hello, sisters in service. This is another episode, day 2, actually, of being a part of the Content Creators of Color. And I have as my guest today one of my siblings, my brother, Tony Edmonds, who he's going to talk a little bit about being my little brother, because he's the youngest in our family, being part of a military family, and talking about his business and how wonderful his sister, that's me, is. Tony Edmonds, welcome. How are you?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm good. Well, thank you for doing this for me. I knew you'd say yes, by the way, just saying.
I know you would. You know I got
you. So tell us a little bit about you, Tony. What do you do? Where are you at? What's going on?
Yeah. So, where do you want me to begin? Where do you want me to start?
Wherever you want. Let's just give us a little background on you.
Okay. So, obviously I grew up in a military family. I think I'm one of the only non-military members of our family. I'm the only, the black sheep, if you will. And, born in overseas, Bitburg Air Force Base. Dad transfers over to Scott Air Force Base. Started my childhood there for like a few years and then moved off base to a town called Mascoutah, Illinois. And that's where
nobody knows where it is, by the way.
Nobody knows where that is.
Even people, when they say, oh, I know almost everywhere in Illinois. And I go, what about Mascoutah? They're like, I've never heard of that.
Yeah. Metro East, hashtag 618. And people, I just tell people St. Louis and they're like, oh yeah, okay, I know where that's at. And I'm like, it's 4 hours south of Chicago because they think Chicago and St. Louis are like right next to each other.
I know.
I'm like, no. So I grew up there, went through the entire school district there, graduated, went to school in Central Illinois at a school called Millikan University because of football. Football took me there. I'm a big sports fan.
Huge sports fan.
Football, basketball, and track. That's, and I was always involved in a lot of things in school. I always wanted to stay busy because I always wanted to take big scoops of life. So I did 3 sports a year. I was in band. I was in choir. I was very busy. Went to school, focused on football, still played some basketball. I involved in my fraternity up there and very active in that. Graduated with
which fraternity?
Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. And very involved in that. Graduated from there with a human resource management degree and started working right away. Got into consumer finance and mortgage world and did that for 10 plus years. Was recruited into banking, did that for about 10 plus years. Then got involved into insurance. I've been doing that for going on 3 years now. And of course I have my baby, my business that I've started.
Hold on. Don't say anything. Don't say anything yet about your business. Okay. So let me ask you this. As a military brat, you have 2 sides, the military brats that never went in the military and the military brats that did go into the military. So was the military ever an option or you wanted to stay as far away from it as possible? And if so, why?
It was always an option. And my dad made sure that he laid out a plan. For me, it was always a plan B. I wanted to do something different. And don't get me wrong, I'm not someone who's bitter towards the military at all. I love my upbringing and the fact that, I have so many friends that are Air Force brats and military brats that we're still in contact today. Many of us went into the military like our parents did. Some of us didn't, but we all still have that bond and we all still respect that. And honestly, we think it makes us very unique because we have a perspective on life that was different. One of the things that I share about the upbringing in the military world is, we didn't know what racism was on base. All we knew was officers and enlisted.
And enlisted.
That's all we knew. There was
it.
there was a gym for the officers. There was a place to eat for the officers. There was a place to live for the officers, and there was a gym for the enlisted. There was a place to eat for the enlisted, and there was a place to live for the enlisted. That's all there was. So even though some may have been on the officer side, some of them have been on the enlisted side, we all still have that bond, and we didn't see each other as different until we moved off base, of course. But that's a huge part of my family, a huge part of my friends. And still today, I'm still in contact with a lot of those Air Force brats. So we stay well connected. And when we're discussing what's going on with the world, that comes up quite a bit. And we all feel the same way. Like, it's not just me, we all feel the same way. And if you could bring us back together, we pick up right where we left off, as if we were never apart.
It's like you've never been apart. There's something there. I was really, I was interviewing someone, and she was a military brat. And I was like, oh, I'm a military brat. I was a military spouse, active duty, and now I'm veteran. So I filled all of those buckets. And I was like, whoa, I didn't realize that I filled all those buckets. So fast forward, you now are an entrepreneur, correct? Mm-hmm. So tell us a little bit about your business, the name of it, what it entails.
Sure. So it's called Deluxe Productions. And let me tell you a little bit of the backstory, because this is something that I've been thinking about for a while. For someone who's attempted to climb the corporate ladder and had some success in a few different industries, there's a lot of frustration that goes along with that, just like in anything when you're trying to be successful. One of the challenges that being a parent and a former coach of my kids was, there was always a lot of push to go to a private school, to have those kinds of resources, to get your kids scholarships to play at the next level. And there was always a lot of pressure to go in those directions. And, private schools aren't cheap. And
they never have been.
We could not afford to send our kids to private schools. So public school it is, right? Which is fine. Right. I'm a public school kid. You're a public school kid. Yeah. So, it was never that I had a problem with public schools. I just wanted our kids to have the best opportunity to play sports at the next level. And that was really all it was for me. It never was anything about some social ladder or anything like that. It was always about getting our kids to the next level. So with that pressure, I also witnessed other kids in public school who are good kids. And what I mean by that is they were good on the football field. They were good on the basketball court. They were good on track. They were good in baseball. They were good in all different areas, weren't getting the same kind of exposure and have access to resources that these other private school kids had. So I started, editing my son's highlight videos and getting those in front of the right people to see his talent and see that he was worthy of playing football at the next level. A lot of things happened, like COVID, which really pushed things back and kind of changed the game a lot, because now the highlight video became even more important than it was before, because you weren't allowed to visit these D1 campuses anymore. We went to like a few of them, and then COVID hit, and then it was shut down to the summer, which is incredible for recruiting. It puts really a huge damper on your access, because now the coaches can't meet with you unless it's electronic or over the phone.
Right.
They can't see you face to face, and now you're a kid trying to make a decision for the next 4 years of your life on a campus that you have not visited, a coach that you haven't sat across the table from and looked them in the eye and talked about your future and their future. You haven't got a chance to meet with professors. You don't know anything about these schools really, other than what you find online. So that was a disadvantage, which also made us really get better at editing these videos. So fast forward, I wanted to give kids that went to public high schools the opportunity to access some of that exposure without having to go and pay the price and the premium of going to a private school. So that's where this opportunity was born. And it was really just to give my kids a competitive advantage. Then I started realizing that, there's some guys like me who played the game in high school and at the college level, and then realized that, those tapes, those VHS tapes were just in someone's basement collecting dust.
Getting
There's
old.
kids, yeah. There's guys like me who want to relive their youth and really see a today's edit of those highlight videos that didn't exist back then. We didn't have Huddle. We didn't have all these editing technology that's available today.
Right.
We just had a camcorder, a VHS player.
And that's it.
You put it in and you get what you get. There's really no editing. It's, unless you're a professional videographer, there's
Right.
really nothing like that existed back then.
So you
things
take
have
those
really
tapes
changed.
and you digitize them?
Yeah, so I have a capture device where I can pull the video and the audio off of the VHS tapes or off DVD, and off of these different production applications, and put them on, make them digital, where you can actually edit it, add audio. I can do, cool things with it to really showcase the kids, and maybe even interview vested parties with the kids. Maybe it's a coach or a trainer who has some unique things to share about the kid that you just wouldn't know unless you met with that person face to face, which is hard to do with the amount of kids that need to be recruited and whatnot. So this really pulls it all together and puts it forward to the person who receives it and opens it and watches it.
So this is for coaches that if a kid wants to go to a particular school, you can send them this. I call them sizzle reels, but they're not sizzle reels.
Right.
But
No, I totally
to show their strengths. And
Yeah.
so a coach might say, whoa, okay, I didn't know about this kid.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? That's
Absolutely.
the other end of what you do?
Yeah, so it's what they do on the field, obviously, because that's the product, is what's on the field and how they do on the field. But it's also the interviewing of the vested parties, the coach, the trainer, the people who can talk about something the kid had to overcome that most people may not know about.
Right.
And it really tells you about what makes that kid who they are and why they continue to succeed. You see these players in the NFL, like Cooper Kupp. Like, where did that kid come from? How did he get to the NFL? He's not the fastest. He's not the biggest. He's not the strongest. What makes him so good? What got him there? And it's those things that really, it's how he has showcased that, which has made him someone who was living with his girlfriend, who was paying for all of his expenses to become a pro. Now he's a pro, and now he's what they call a triple crown wide receiver, which is the best receiver in the game.
Right.
And they're like, who is this guy? Where did he come from? Why is he the one? And so if you can learn that about a kid early, that can give you a competitive advantage for that recruiting coach to hear that story, to see those highlights and put all that together.
Right. So if you fast forward 5 years from now, what does your business look like?
I would like to see my business as, it doesn't have to be a public school thing with a chip on your shoulder. It can be used by anyone. But to get that film in front of the right person, to give that kid an opportunity or an invite to go to a school and try out or participate in a combine and showcase their talent and get a chance to talk to that coach, to give them a competitive advantage where it becomes a staple of the recruiting process, not just for football, but for any sport. And I've even looked at expanding into other industries and other areas to give people that advantage. Because with technology today, this call wouldn't have happened like this 10 years ago.
No.
With the technology that we have now, we've brought with the internet and with the social media out there. Twitter was huge when it came to recruiting. It's still huge with recruiting. You see highlight videos all the time. Now it's about getting the right video and the right talent on the right video in front of the right person who can make a decision to now give that kid an opportunity. What they do with it is on them, but now they have an opportunity to do.
You want them to scroll through Twitter and go, whoa, what's that? Just stop long enough to look at it, because people just scroll.
Exactly.
So let's change course a little bit. I'm going to
Okay.
ask you a few questions. What are the top 2 things on your bucket list?
I want to go to a home Chicago Bears game because I'm a sports guy. I want to go to a home Boston
No.
Celtics game. I want to go to a Notre Dame home football game, and I want to travel to warm places and with beaches
So
and
you've got a
white
few things
sand.
on your bucket list. Is that what you're saying?
Well, the top 3 that I shared are really connected, but these
Yeah.
are things that I wanted to do with our late father,
Yeah.
and unfortunately, he's not around anymore. So these are things that I want to experience, but these are also things that I want to share. So
Right.
my siblings and my kids can say, "Hey, we got to do these things." And the world
Right.
is bigger than just Muscuda, or it's bigger than just O'Fallon. It's bigger than St. Louis. And because we
Right.
didn't, as kids, our world stopped at the base, at the gate, and then once we
Right.
got older, then when we got outside the gate, we're like, oh, there's a whole nother
There's a
world
whole
out
nother
here.
world. So for our listening audience, if you want to know why is it my brother, Tony Edmonds, played football, it's because of you know who.
That's right.
And my brother wanted to play football. How old are you?
I am now
No.
I'm going to be
When you
40.
wanted to play,
Oh,
football.
when I could walk, because I was
He was
playing
young. I think you
football
were like
long
what,
before I was
10,
allowed to, probably.
8, 9,
Was
10, somewhere
I
in there.
mean, I was old enough to be able to leave the house
Mhm.
and be in the town at what they call Chevy Park and play tackle football, unbeknownst to
Yeah.
my mom and dad. I was old
Well,
enough to do that, which is probably close
mhm.
to 9 or 10.
Well, I know that you went to mom and my mom said no because, you'll get hurt. And so my brother calls me. So I have to talk to my mom. I was like, oh, he'll get hurt. And I said, Mom, he could walk outside and fall in the cement and get hurt. So I said, you know what? Maybe if you let him play, 1 or 2 things are going to happen. 1, he loves it and it's something he can do. And 2, he hates it and he stops doing it. But unfortunately for my mother, my brother loved playing football. So that's how he got started in football because of me. I'll
That's
take the
right.
credit. I'll take the credit.
That's right.
All right. So another question. If you could witness any event from the past, what event would it be?
Wow. Great question. If I could witness, and this is anything's on the table.
Anything's on the table.
I would like to be present to witness either someone who has shaped history like Martin Luther King or John F. Kennedy, something like that.
Yeah.
I could
Like
say
while
sports
they were
because there's a lot
making
of sports things I could
changes.
pick. Yeah, but
Yeah, there
in terms of
are.
impacting the world, those 2 events would be huge for me.
Absolutely. If you could pick anyone to play you in the biography of your life and they can't say no, who would you choose? Who would play you? Who would play Tony Edmonds?
Today or in their prime?
Anyone.
I really like, this is a good question. I could default to the old Denzel Washington, but I really want to pick someone is more like me. I always was a big fan of Charles Barkley. So I would want someone with that kind of body style to
Yeah.
play me, not only because of his passion for basketball, because that was my first love,
He's
but
funny
someone,
too.
yeah,
My brother's
he's a
got a huge
character.
sense of humor, y'all. So
Yeah,
he's the one who
he's
keeps
definitely
us
got character.
laughing. So
So someone like that, probably like an Anthony Hamilton, someone
yeah.
like that to play me who's got some comedy about it, because you have to be able to laugh at this
Yes,
experience.
especially nowadays. All
Yeah.
right, so let's talk about superheroes.
Okay.
What superhero best personifies your personality?
Hulk.
Of course. Why?
Because I- my mother is very emotional, so there by default we all have some level of emotion. And I'm a Gemini, which might mean something to some people. So Hulk has 2 phases of his life: the emotional side, which we're all familiar with in the
Right.
cartoons and the movies, and then the part where he's not the Hulk.
Right.
So that would most personify me, whether I'm in or out of the moment.
All right, Tony, we're going to go into our next segment. It's called This or That. Okay, you have to
All
pick
right.
one answer. Okay.
Okay.
Sweet or salty?
Sweet.
Warm weather or cold weather?
Warm weather.
Beach or mountains?
Beach, of course.
Music or silence?
Absolutely music.
Steak or seafood?
Seafood.
Solitude or being around people?
Solitude.
Bad breath or body odor?
Body odor.
Guacamole or salsa?
Salsa, 1000%.
All right. Instagram famous or infomercial famous?
I'm going to go with Instagram.
Night or morning?
Night.
Rich and famous or rich and unknown?
Rich and unknown in today's world.
Coffee or tea?
I'm going to go with tea.
Ooh, that's different.
Yeah.
Roller coaster.
I like the cold better. I like cold drinks better than hot drinks.
I can't.
Yeah.
Roller coaster or water slide?
Water slide.
Reality show or documentary?
Ooh. I'm going to go with documentary.
Books or movies?
Movies.
Pizza or tacos?
I'm going to go with tacos.
Looks or personality?
I'm going to go with personality.
Smartest person or richest in the world?
Smartest person.
Wow. See, that was easy. You passed.
That was easy. Thank you. No score or anything for me? You know, us competitive people want to know our progress.
No, it's you. Okay, you got 100. How about that?
Oh, see, nice. I like the way you did that. Nicely played.
Only
sis.
For you. Played. Only for
right.
You.
Then competitive people want to see how we match up against everyone else.
Of course.
I want to see everyone else's scores too.
No, you don't. Well, Tony, thank you so much for being a part of this. And for everyone else, please stay safe, take care of each other, and until next time. And my name is Kat Corchado, and I am a content creator of color.
Thanks for